like people from like Aussie and stuff like, oh, check out this guy. And I'm like, what do you mean check out this guy? Like, that's my boy, cuz.
Yeah.
Like, and like people, you know, they'll be like, oh, have you seen this guy? I'm like, yeah. Like, I've been telling people about him, like,
for
so
years. So our history, if you know, for people that don't know me and Swizl, it's like we go back to 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And we roughed it as artists.
Or
Like,
did we rough it?
we
Still
ru-
rough it. Still rough it.
back then we roughed it for nothing.
Yeah.
like we'd run charity gigs so we could play gigs, sort of thing. Yeah, so back in 2013, 12, 13, we had a group called the ALTBAYS Grind Team.
IGT.
Yeah, and we had a pretty good following. Like, it was a big following, and we were able to like crowdfund. We had fundraiser gigs, and we were able to pay for tours, which we did. And this was completely independent, reaching out. We made relationships all across the country with bar owners, promoters,
And hip hop collectives as well.
hip hop
Like all up and
collectives
down the
that
country.
had connections.
Yeah.
So it was like just a big matter of like connecting with them, and we ended up doing a self-funded tour around New Zealand. And how many dates did we do? I don't know. We did the major cities and some.
And some non-major cities. Eh?
Yeah, and some butt crust towns.
How long was the thing? Like, what was the format of what you guys were putting on the road?
We were a rap group. Yeah.
So
like
we were like individual, like all of us were all, you know, up and comers or whatever you want to call it. But we also did stuff as a collective.
Yeah.
So it was more like, I think when Lars approached me about it, like they had already got a little bit of a movement going, and they were like, oh, you know, you should jump in too, because it was all mostly based in Tauranga, and like, oh, that's where I'm from. So they were like, you know, jump on board. And the main goal was to uplift the younger fellas that were coming up, or just to like, you know, show people that it can be done. If you put in the mahi, then there's going to be a payout.
Yeah.
And the payout might not be like monetary payout, but you know, at least you'll be doing stuff. And
Yeah.
so yeah, for us it was like we were grinding. That's why we called ourselves the ALTBAYS Grind Team. We were grinding and just making things happen for ourselves rather than waiting for like someone to go, hey, play this show. We were going, we're putting on the show here, here, and here, and then other rap collectives or like mates would be like, well, we're doing shows here, here, and here, and you know, we'd sort of all piggyback off each other.
Yeah. There was a strong connection between scenes back in the day in the hip hop scene. So there was a hip hop scene, and I came on in 2009. That's how long I've been doing it for, and that was our foundation, was built off keep the connection strong. Like, we used to have these gigs called the Hip Hop Connection, and the main reason for them was to keep the cities connected.
Yep.
So Auckland, Hamilton, Tauranga, Wellington, Christchurch, and it was like, you know, you bring us to Auckland, and there'll be like 30 artists performing. It was quite ridiculous, but I've got friends to this day from those days, and that's what's missing today, is with all the social media stuff, people think that sending a verse through an email is a connection, but it's not. It's like, we used to physically go to these towns and connect with these people.
Right.
Sleep on their floors.
Sleep on floors,
Sleep
in
on
cars.
their couches, in tents at their grandma's
That story
sister's
doesn't get
house.
old for artists. Hey, it doesn't matter what level the artist is.
Yeah.
There's always that story. Hey,
Yeah.
the hustling, like the actual like finding a place to sleep and just making the show happen.
Definitely.